Hello, how to structure feet. So if I told you how to draw if I asked you, please draw a footprint in the sand, you'd probably draw something like this. And so we're going to use this as a base for a foot, as the floor plan, as the ground plan, as what is touching the floor. So we'll think in terms of perspective, setting a footprint in perspective, and here's the heel back here, here's the kidney-shaped ball of the foot area, and here is the toes, something like that. And this is the connectivity of the footprint look going on there, depending on how much arch you have in your foot. Okay, so what's key with all this is that I'm trying to convince you guys that geometric constructs are far closer to the truth of an object than flat approximations of which is what we see in terms of cameras. That those views are completely incidental, and you can change your perspective and boom, totally change all the flat shapes that are there. When you construct things using geometric principles, then you're creating a volumetric unity that can be described from any angle. That's how animation works. What you're animating, you know it thoroughly. You know it sculpturally. You know it upside down, inside out. And so the same thing in terms of drawing a foot, hands, head, the human figure, a deer, a clam, anything, is knowing its implicit sculptural geometric principles. And then you can draw it from any angle informed about its sculptural totality, and that's really important. So we're going to do that with the foot. We're going to start here with the heel and think of it as a hockey puck here in the back, just for now, for the heck of it. And we'll give some thickness to this, the ball of the foot here. And then between these two islands, where most of the weight is, we're going to create an arch. And we're going to say the center is about here, and we're going to go just to the other side of center. And that, starting about here, is going to be where the apex of the arch is, and coming down, and most of the pressure going on to here is going to be that. And then there's going to be this thickness of a side plane here. And then there's going to be this going over to this side. In terms of cross contour, there's a top plane, and then it goes down like this, actually more down like this. So this is the high part of the foot. On the outside of the foot, it gets lower. And then about right where this top of the arch is, there's a saddle joint, which is where the tibia resides and rotates back and forth. It goes there and also hangs off to the side a bit, and then goes off in this direction. And this right here is forming this side of the ankle. And then on another lower sort of saddle joint over here is the fibula, thinner, yet it gets really thick at the bottom here. And the combination of this and this creates an angle that is like this. it's not completely horizontal across. This, the interior is higher than the anterior, exterior, whatever you call it. So you've got that in the back of this hockey puck. I'll make it a little bigger here. Is the Achilles tendon, transparently constructed. It's back there, and it comes on up. And goes into muscle. And then up here, we're going to think of this as just a slab for now. Create a corner. And the reason I like to think of it as a slab is that it does tend to work as a unit. And so, and then this is a rotation point right here. Rotation point. This, of course, is a rotation point here. And there are the major components of a foot. Raise this up a little bit, just because it'll look better. Now it's a little bit out of proportion and weird. I think this is going to go back a little bit more like that. And then this is going to probably arch back more like that. I think that's going to be closer to the truth. Okay, so this is the construct. This is what's going on in the Hampton book, pretty much. And but why it's so useful is that there is a kinesthetic truth that's going on in terms of, yes, this is an asymmetrical arch with a pad here and there are tendons going from each of the toes up through the front of the leg, and there's the Achilles tendon going out the back, and it's this is a cantilever point between these two tensions, between the Achilles tendon and these tendons that are the junction is here, where it's rocking back and forth between these two ground points here, primarily. And then this, of course, is a fulcrum point as well. So just to further elaborate, we've got the big toe, the middle toe, the third toe, the second toe, and the little toe, as you've all experienced with your three little pigs. Wee to market all the way home. And so, what I want you to think of the joints of is as balls. The big toe has one, primarily. Right there, there's one joint in the big toe, pretty much. There's this, that, and then the bone coming out. There's more in all of this. There's the ones back here. There's another one, and then even another one. So these, all the other toes are a little bit more complex. And you can see that in there, and how, if you look at them, you'll see that. And so the reason I want you to think of these as circles is that it gets you to think volumetrically, going around this way. Here's that going back into that. There's that going into there. And then this is a cylinder comes off of it. And then here's where the nail is. And there you go, like that. Here's the top plane, side plane, but that really helps to get it. Same thing here. If I think here's that, into that, using the roundness, then here's the nail. Nail's really good at showing where the top to side plane transition is, and same thing here. That's sort of kind of crude and ridiculous. It needs to be finessed. But it definitely gets you thinking volumetrically around and also thinking in terms of how the joints move. It does a volume and a kinesthetic thing simultaneously when you think of that. Okay, so this is the concept around this, and this is more skeletal than anything. I'm not really adding flesh and tendons, etc., but I could, certainly. Okay, so I'm going to flip to the next page. And here are some that I did. This is a similar construct. The tibia and fibula on the saddle, the heel with the Achilles tendon. There's this large block of bones here. Again, the cross contour is higher here, going down. And then these are where the individual bones actually start here. And there's not a lot of flexion in these bones here. It's mostly in the toes. These tend to act as a unit. But they come down and about here. But what I want you to notice is how the toes do this thing where there's the first row of joints right here, and then these to these. That you get these ratio things, and it's a little more evident in the hands, but this will be bigger than this, and then the next one it'll be smaller. But the sense of continuity arcs, the way this is, the way this is, the way this is, treating it as a unit, because these ratios are in descending kind of geometric order, so they get smaller, but there's a unity as they go. So thinking in terms of those arcs. A note with the toe is the big toe has these major bones that act as one back here, but it only has 1, 2 bones. The rest of them have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and they have more complexity. So check that out. Here is the other side of the foot. Again, here's where it starts up high, comes down low. The fibula is on this side. The ankle is angled. It's higher up here and lower down here, and you get that angle going through there. The sense of the Achilles tendon. That this is really good to not think of this mass and this as being the same. It's connected by skin, but not much. You can actually almost touch your fingers between the space in here. So this is a real high tension point that's good to think about, that how it's in action against this. And then, you know, your cross contour, and again, here's your arcs unifying these joints together with that. And then looking at, you know, again, thinking of where the things turn as balls. You can even think of that up here with the heel, the way I'm constructing the toe here. This is where it turns, this is where it turns. So wherever there's a joint, it's really good to illustrate it as a circle. And it'll definitely, I mean, it's super, super handy. And again, it can look gimmicky, but at first we're just trying to get it so you understand what's going on. All right. So that's it for now.